it's another divestment disaster!
Coming to paperback and e-readers, Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer. Take a trip into the macabre world of goth modeling in the new millennium in this all-new Spinsterella story. Pre-order your copy of Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer at Amazon.com and other online booksellers everywhere.
Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue.
Rachel Lindsay was ordered to pay Bryan Abosolo close to $1 million in order to settle her divorce. Now, in a podcast called Higher Learning, Rachel Lindsay, the former star of the ABC reality show The Bachelorette, says that she was ordered to pay Bryan Abosolo a settlement of close to $1 million, including over $460,000 in spousal support, in order to end the divorce of the marriage that they created back in 2019. Now, Rachel Lindsay came on The Bachelorette in 2017 to a lot of fanfare as the first black woman to ever be featured on the reality show. And as she went out and eliminated multiple black suitors on the show, she eventually wound up getting involved with a white man, Bryan Abosolo, in 2017 and picked him to give her final rose to, and then eventually wound up marrying him after the show in 2019, and eventually he wound up filing for divorce in January of 2024. And Rachel Lindsay wound up becoming frustrated as related to the dissolution of their marriage, saying that she shouldn't be punished for being successful during a marriage while Bryan Abosolo wasn't. Now, this statement from Rachel Lindsay basically mirrors that of many single, successful, well-educated black women who wanted to go out here and get involved with a white man and hope to divest from the black community, and eventually found out that when it came to those white men that they thought they were going to live happily ever after with, that these men were basically playing a game of chess as related to economics, while these women were caught up in their feelings, not really understanding the subtle politics transpiring around them as related to the system of white supremacy, as related to marriage. Now, when it comes to white men see marriage very differently than black women. Now, many black women, because they're emotional, they believe that marriage is something that is done out of love. However, when it comes to white men do not see marriage as something that they participate in for love. No, when it comes to white men, marriage is a business, and it's a business where they're looking to build wealth for themselves. And when a white man gets involved with a black woman, in most cases, they are looking to build an economic platform for themselves at the expense of that black woman. But sadly, many black women are too caught up in their feelings about black men to see what's going on with white men as related to their perception of marriage. No, women like Rachel Lindsay basically are so caught up in their feelings about expressing their contempt for black men that they can't see that this white man is basically using them. And that's what happened on the show The Bachelorette. Rachel Lindsay thought that she was going to be the first black female bachelorette and used her time on that show to again show her contempt for black men, going out in the first episode, eliminating a black man who was a lawyer, who was wearing an expensive Brioni suit, eliminating him as a way to express her contempt for black men, and tossing him out first because he was the high-value man, showing how little she valued black men. And over the course of the show, she wound up eliminating a lot of black men, eliminating 3 to 4 black men in one episode. And that whole incident reminded me of Kane in the Royal Rumble, where in 2000, I believe he wound up eliminating 11 competitors from the ring. And as Rachel Lindsay eliminated most of the black men over the course of the early episodes, she kept the white man around, thinking that the white man was a prize. And as she eliminated almost all the black men except for one, which she saved to express her extreme contempt for, by again putting him through the table as related to wrestling. Again, she wanted to humiliate these black men by saying that she had no regard for them, and eventually showed us that her entire family was caught up in this whole idea of being with white people and seeing white people as having value. But many of the white people they were deifying and worshiping, they saw the relationship with Rachel Lindsay as a business, and that's what Bryan Abosolo saw the relationship as, an opportunity to be able to build his own business as related to things. Now, Bryan Abosolo basically made less money than Rachel Lindsay, who was one of these high-powered lawyers who thought she had won the jackpot because a white man was the one who was paying her attention and was able to get a chance to choose between all of these different white men. But she couldn't see how she was being set up by the system of white supremacy to take away her wealth as she looked to divest from the black community and black people. She looked to divest from black people, not seeing that she was on a road to being in a disaster as related to this relationship, because this man really wasn't interested in her. No, he was interested in her economic assets, and as he was interested in her economic assets, he was looking to get paid at her expense and not really provide any sort of value to the marriage. This is what was happening with this guy, because he wasn't looking to be the leader in this relationship. No, this was a pit stop for him, and this is what many of these swirlers and divestors don't really understand. I go in depth on this in my book, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. When it comes down to a lot of these black women who are swirlers and divestors, they want to think that this man is investing emotionally in them, but this man isn't interested in looking to be a husband under the standard of God. No, he's not looking to be a head. He's not looking to be a steward who's going to be responsible for that black woman. No, what he's looking for is someone who he can go out here and use to get a payday for himself. And what he'll do is go out here and play the role of a guy who's in love with this black woman, and again get her caught up in her feelings, as he's looking to reach inside of her bag and grab himself a bag of cash for himself. And that's what happened here with Rachel Lindsay. She thought, again, she hit the jackpot. She thought she had gotten the ultimate in men as related to the white man. She was deifying and worshiping and getting caught up in her feelings about, but this guy really wasn't investing anything emotionally in this woman. No, he was all about his economics, no different than Halle Berry's white man, Gabriel Aubrey, her baby daddy, or her husband, Olivier Martinez. Now, when it came to Halle Berry, she also wanted to spite black men after her failed marriages to David Justice and Eric Benet, and wanted to go out here and get involved with this French-Canadian model, Gabriel Aubrey, and get involved with this white man, looking to think that she was going to have the relationship on her terms and have a baby on her terms, not understanding that this white French-Canadian model was out here looking to play chess as related to this relationship, looking to play chess where he'll get the baby, and then because she basically wanted to again have this kid on her terms, what he was doing was thinking, hey, I can go out here and get some money. And again, the whole situation with Halle Berry is that she got jammed up by Gabriel Aubrey after she tried to pull some hood rat stuff. With having Olivier Martinez and Gabriel Aubrey fight in the street, and that's when Gabriel Aubrey said he was a white man and looked to bring the hammer of white supremacy down, because he was a white man and the courts would give him anything because he was white. That's how the system of white supremacy works. A white man in the courts is going to be seen as someone they are going to regard. Meanwhile, the black woman is someone they're not going to regard. And these white men know that they have the law on their side. Not only the law, the unwritten law of white supremacy, but the written law of the courts as related to the child support system. That's what Gabriel Aubrey and Olivier Martinez understood. They had the law on their side because they were white, and they were able to go out here and get child support payments for themselves at the expense of Halle Berry, because under the law, it's the spouse who makes more money who has to pay child support, and they also have to pay spousal support in some cases as related to that marriage. And that's what Bryan Abosolo did. Now, Bryan Abosolo, basically, as I see it, just is a pookie who's white, but because he's white and that's all that mattered to her. Like the late David Carroll used to say, looks, that only thing that matters is white. Again, she was looking at his white skin and was mesmerized by those crystal blue eyes and that creamy white skin. And as she was mesmerized by those crystal blue eyes and that creamy white skin, this is where Rachel Lindsay basically jammed herself up because this guy understood how the courts worked. He understood that in divorce court, it's about the spouse who makes the most money. They're the ones who have to pay. Moreover, they have to pay to maintain the lifestyle of the spouse who they were living with. And that basically made it where this male could go out here and get free money to be able to take care of himself. He could go out here and get his lifestyle maintained, and that's what happened here to Rachel Lindsay in divorce court. And sadly, because this lawyer couldn't see the subtle politics transpiring around her as related to relationships in black and white, she basically was caught up and spellbound by the idea of this white man paying her attention and thinking about the social currency she would get in black social circles. Meanwhile, this white man, all he was thinking about was how much money he could make as related to this business relationship, and looking for a way for him to profit from this whole situation. I mean, this man is basically making $1 million just for marrying this woman. I mean, she's ordered to pay, again, $500,000 in an equalization payment, plus $460,000 in spousal support to maintain his lifestyle. And Rachel Lindsay is sitting here frustrated, wondering why she was being punished for being successful. No, you're being punished by the system of white supremacy, because in the system of white supremacy, a black woman is not allowed to be able to have all this money without having to pay a white person. But the whole thing is, you got in this whole situation because you were the one who chose this white man. And the whole thing with this whole situation that jammed her up was she was the one who picked this guy. Again, critical question. Again, you wouldn't have to pay this guy if you didn't pick him. But the reason why she picked him is because he was a white man. And again, she wanted to spite black men. She wanted to go out here and emasculate those black men. But now she's the one being humiliated, again, reaping what she sowed, later than what she sowed, greater than what she sowed, as related to this marriage, which was not done out of love, but was done out of lust for white people. And again, looking to spite black men. One of the things that jams up a lot of black women like Rachel Lindsay and Halle Berry and many others is that they come into these relationships looking to overcompensate and look to spite black men, but wind up hurting themselves because they don't understand that the system of white supremacy is all about looking to divide and conquer black people. Yeah, you can be one of these successful, well-educated sisters, But what they want to do in white supremacy is make sure that you wind up ending in an ignominious fashion, looking to make you end in an ignominious fashion because they want to exercise white power through their system. Because had this been a black man who Rachel Lindsay divorced, I doubt he would have been told that he could get that, even though he's entitled to it by the law. No, I believe that the courts basically would have told him he would have to get a job and would have gone out here projecting stereotypes on a black man. But in the case of Rachel Lindsay, because she got involved with this white man and basically got involved with him, she thought it was going to be a road to happily ever after. But sadly, what happened to Rachel Lindsay is that her marriage basically ended up in a divestment disaster. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl. The aspiring angel takes on a wicked teenage witch in this action-packed, all-new Esteemed series adventure. Pick up your copy of Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA, from the Black Boule, in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.